What's up, guys? 35 people here. That's awesome. Great turnout. And 25 likes. That's a good way to start off. Looks like I got some super chats as well. Hopefully I can see those when I log in here. Hold on a second. So, yeah, here to talk about new Star Trek, Prodigy. Episode 3, actually, because the first one was 2 parts. Yeah, so this one's called Starstruck, which has a really good double meaning, actually. All right. Oh, and of course, the YouTube app decided to update on my iPad, so it's in the process of doing that. Good job. So, it's good to see you all. Let's see if we can see these super chats. Eric Martin throws in $5. So diverting all power to impulse engines lowers the shields, opens the brig, but you can still build shuttles, even though that was cool. Well, my argument for that was, and Samuel brought that up too when we talked earlier, my argument for that was, considering that the ship is in a disaster situation where all the escape pods have now been launched, you're going to want to be able to build a shuttle or an escape vehicle if necessary. So I think that might have its own power supply for the replicator, or just keeps power in reserve for that, because honestly, you're going to want to you're going to want to be able to build an escape craft should you need one. So not a huge issue with that, honestly. All right, let's see here. BJ Turon too. Sorry, I missed your super chat because this thing didn't show me. Now we know where all of Voyager's shuttles came from. Well, actually, it's true somewhat. This new vehicle replicator is a new thing, but that's what they did in Voyager. They replicated the parts for the shuttles and built new shuttles. So they've always been able to replicate the parts. But have it all one thing makes a lot of sense, actually. Whether it can, we'll probably do a video about this, but whether it can actually create the isolinear chips and all of the complex electronics for it and the impulse engines and stuff is questionable, but it could be that there's cargo bay with those kind of components there. So as it's building the ship, it's just beaming those from the cargo bay into the ship components and adding those as it goes. That would make a lot of sense as well. It's just a very super advanced 3D printer and assembler. So I think that's fine. It's a great way to kick off the conversation, I guess. We're just getting right into it. I just want to say first off that the episode was good. It wasn't quite as good as I anticipated this one would be. Didn't get quite as much detail or explanation, especially about the protostar, as I would have liked. But it is what it is. All the characters got a little bit of a moment to shine, so that's good. They're not leaving anybody out. And we did get to see more of the protostar. We learned a little bit more about it, and that's great. I love the captain's quarters, I gotta say. It's good to be the captain. Those are really cool quarters. All right. Well, they jettisoned everything from the cargo bays, so I guess no more shuttle parts. Well, okay, I didn't mean specifically a cargo bay, but like there's got to be a storage room or something for components like isolinear chips and things like that. So we did see crates and stuff leaving the ship. Where they came from, it's hard to say. But yeah, I think that was kind of stupid, actually, because now they have no escape pods. They have no cargo stuff. But what was I going to say? I was going to say something. I mean, an escape pod thing, escape pod 1 jettisoning, escape pod 2 jettisoning, escape pod 3 jettisoning. Are there any more? No. 3 escape pods, but on the schematic of the ship that showed the escape pods, there was at least 6 shown there. So that was interesting as well. So, yeah. Anyway, let's see here. We got Fleetpaw Swiftback, who's been a member for 20 months at the rank of captain, saying, "Never fear, Fleetpaw's here. Like the episode, but not as good as last week. Rock Talk is my favorite so far, and then Hollow Janeway." Yes, and Hollow Janeway really shone in this episode. Pardon the pun. She has photons after all. However, I think that's kind of the dual purpose of the episode name being Starstruck. We had Janeway. They were listening to this hologram, and also the fact that they went to a star that was collapsing, so, and getting struck by debris from that was entering that. Like, it was pretty interesting actually. So Troy Macy throws in $5, so thank you so much. That idea with the emergency power for the ship replicator makes logical sense. Indeed, it does. Even make, like, I'm sure the thing can make probes. It'll make that all-terrain vehicle we see in the previews, shuttles, work bees, things like that. But yes, an emergency situation, if you need to evacuate another extra 6 people, quickly build a shuttle. It was up to 90% being built. My issue with the goddamn thing is, where's the safety protocols? Why is it building a shuttle around people that are in the building area? Like, literally in the shuttle. I think that's, I mean, it could probably compensate for that. Plus, they're jumping on the arms. They're, like, grabbing the replicator things. You think at some point it would just shut down and say, please exit the the assembly area or something. But, yeah, it is what it is. It's fine. It's future tech. It's good. Olivia Julius, $5. Prodigy is kind of falling flat for me now, to be honest, but I'm sticking with it. Hopefully I can learn to like it more as the season goes on. I totally disagree with you, Olivia. I think it's fantastic so far. It's really fun to watch. It's a nice departure. It's got that Star Wars, Clone Wars kind of vibe to it with the action and adventure. I can see why they say it's for kids, even though it's got some more sophisticated stuff going on. So I really like it. And it's a lot better than the Dark Discovery and Picard that we've had. So I'm enjoying it. And the Protostar looks fantastic. We get a lot of ship porn in every episode. And can't wait for them to use that new drive. Whatever it is. I'm not sure yet. But it found out it has 2 warp cores. One of which could get them up to warp 9 at least, if they don't fly apart. Which I thought was a nice line. So 2 warp cores and then the other drive in the middle. Which, again, we don't quite know what that is yet. So Olivia Julius, $2. I'm tearing Fleetpaws here. Tearing? I'm tearing? I don't know what you mean. BJ Tehran, who's been a member for 13 months, the rank of commander, so thank you. DS9 mentioned industrial replicators. Yes, I mean, all starships, if you watch a lot of our starship breakdowns, we talk about the replicator systems for the shuttles that can make shuttle parts. However, you assume they're assembled by maintenance crew. Considering the ship is so small, though, they probably didn't have many people to be doing that. Plus, you don't have room to store any shuttles. A lot of the big ships obviously had shuttles ready to go and would replicate parts to build a new shuttle because they have others, as opposed to just having no shuttles and needing to build one really quick. So I don't have a problem with the vehicle replicator the way it is. I think it's a pretty great idea for a small ship. I just hope that when the ship comes back, it can disassemble it. So you're not like, oh, we built 3 shuttles this week. We have no room for them now. I don't know. I would assume it'd be able to disassemble them and turn the material back into energy. All right, so cut up on the super chats. Sorry if I missed a lot of your comments. I don't want to get far behind in the chat, so I'm going to try to keep up from here. So if you said anything earlier that you want to repeat, so I do see it, now's the time. But honestly, with 67 people here, 43 likes, that's amazing, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't already. But I'm going to try to get to a lot of the comments. But if you really want to be seen, super chat is the best way, honestly. But I will try to read a lot of them. So, does the shuttle have fuel or a warp drive? Again, they'd probably beam deuterium into the tanks to fuel it. As for a warp drive, probably not. I mean, it could probably assemble the components for a warp drive as it was building it, and then again beam matter and antimatter from the regular storage tanks on the ship to the shuttle. That would work. But I assume the shuttles it's building are probably just to get from the ship to a surface or something like that. You could probably select what you want as well. So, Darth Maul, not canon, but Voyager did have 2 warp cores, if I recall, but not configured in that manner. You are correct. It did have 2 warp cores. It actually had parts for another warp core as well. The second warp core wasn't installed and active. It was just a standby one. And it is canon because Rick Sternbach designed it that way. So it is canon. It is on the MSD, I believe, on the back of the bridge. And they did have parts to build another one should they need it, which, how convenient considering they were going to the Delta Quadrant and didn't know it. So, yeah. Matt Boardman, no disassemble number 5. Yes. We won't kill you, number 5. Number 5 is alive. No disassemble. Livy Julius, $5. Can I get a show of hands who was waiting to see a replicator making a disco shuttle? Oh, I would have been mad. That being said, at least, let's be fair, at least Protostar has the shuttle bay door or ramp closed all the time, unlike Discovery, who's always flying around with it open. Eric Martin, $2. I wonder if they have a holodeck. It's a small ship. My initial thought is no. However, for the premise of the show and it being for kids and them going to be training with Janeway, and just for the fact that it is technically a kids show and that's kind of fantastical they can do anything with that, I think it will have a holodeck. It only needs one. It doesn't need a very big one. So I would say yes, it probably does. Even though my initial thought is no, because it is an NX, it is an experimental ship. So do they really need one? Don't know, but it's kind of standard equipment these days, so who knows. Fleetpaw Swiftback, $5. Trek Core said the shuttle builder was a dig at Voyager's never-ending supply of shuttles, LOL. Well, just because Trek Core said it doesn't mean it's true. It's just something we would say here. It's just speculation. Need to talk to somebody involved with the production to be able to actually determine whether it was a dig at them or not. So, I am Misi, who's been a member for 2 months at the rank of Fleet Admiral. Oh my God, a Fleet Admiral. Welcome, sir. It seemed like Holo Janeway obviously knows they aren't cadets and is going to try to use them to get the ship back to the Federation. It seems like it because when she was, I see what's going on here. And the way she looks over her shoulder, as you're all cadets. She had kind of a smirk on her face because cadets would even still be wearing Starfleet uniforms, just cadet uniforms. So, yeah, but I do like Dahl's thing. Like the Federation is just another, word for somebody that wants to control us. And how's it going to look? Us? Are they going to protect us, a bunch of fugitives that roll up in their stolen shuttle or their stolen ship? I thought that was hilarious. The whole roll up line. Roll up the rim to win if you're Canadian. Darth Maul, Trekyards will never be as cool as hologram Janeway, materializing her coffee and taking a sip in that scene. Right? Sylvia made the joke that when they were doing the scans for the Holo Janeway, she had a cup of coffee in her hand, and they're like, put the coffee down. She's like, fuck you. So, yeah. How many crew members could fit on that small ship? Not many. I mean, if you look at if that's the only bunk room, we're going to count the bunks, but probably there's enough room for 30 or 40 at the most, I would say. Because it is only like 4 or 5 decks. And then the shuttle bay is basically, it's that big component engine thing in there and the replicator. So there's not a lot of room on the ship, really. I was surprised the mess hall was quite as big as it was. And the captain's quarters, like unnecessarily big for a captain's quarters. That's like Galaxy class level luxury there. So, the ship could have lower deck style mini holopods. Yes, absolutely it could. Protostar from the outside looks very Enterprise era to me. Totally disagree with that. A lot of people say it looks very Kelvin with the way the nacelles are designed, which I kind of agree with. However, I really like everything about it. The one thing that I didn't like about the Kelvin Enterprise was the spacing of the nacelles. They were a little big, but from the side it looked kind of cool. But they were way too close together, and it just looked awkward and gangly from certain angles. This thing, the nacelles are spaced properly apart. They're on nice pylons. It's just fantastic. So even if it is Kelvin inspired, it's fine to me. I think it's great. I really like the Protostar. So take that. Jason, people are overthinking the crossfield being there. Crossfields aren't secret. Spore Drive and Discovery were. Totally agree. We actually did a video on that. Samuel kind of disagrees with that. I don't. The crossfield would obviously exist. It's the class name for the ship. Then the Glen and the Discovery at least. Discovery stuff would all be redacted. I think they said in Discovery that officially Discovery got destroyed in some battle or some sector, whatever. I forget what it said exactly. But any hint of the Spore Drive, I think, would definitely be redacted from any mention of Discovery. If you can even look anything up in Discovery, maybe they totally redacted the whole thing. However, the Glen, our assumption is that the crossfield space frame would be used for experiments, and considering that it has the spinning disk and everything for the Spore Drive specifically, it's like the ship was specifically built around the Spore Drive. So I think the Glen might have some reference to an experimental drive that failed and killed the entire crew, and it was a failure. So there's no sense even looking into it, because that would be my thinking, but I could be wrong about that. They could have redacted everything about the Spore Drive just for safety's sake, so nobody would pick it up again in like 100 years and try to do it. I don't know. Just spitballing there. Darth Maul, so the 2 warp core thing is canon, but there are episodes where the warp core got ejected and hijacked and the ship had no warp power. Yeah, because the other warp core wasn't activated. It was stored down in one of the lower decks. If you look at the MSD, it's actually in one of the low decks. It's not hooked up to the main engineering section. So yeah, we see Voyager eject its warp core at one point. I wish they would have actually utilized the second warp core, like had it, see a scene where they're installing it and then they get the other one back, but you never see that. So it's never really made clear on screen canon-wise that there is a second warp core, but it is there and it was designed that way, and that was probably going to play into some storytelling at some point during the course of the series, and it just never did. So the shuttle wasn't disco. I was surprised. It's not COVID, it's the space flu. I love your name. That's a great name. Yeah, I'm surprised it wasn't a disco shuttle. That would have been a jab at somebody right there. Darth Maul, it's like barely 4 decks with shuttle bay, maybe a 5th, maybe a crew of 40. Yeah, exactly. Colin says the Defiant class, which I think is comparable in size, only has a crew of 50. A ship like the Protostar may need less. Yeah, I mean, I think the minimum number of crew for that ship should be about 20. But you need a couple duty shifts, so I think 40 is a good safe bet, at least. I mean, even the small Archer class, which is beta cannon ship, it's quite small, and I think it's got a crew of 8 to 12. It's a very small ship, and even they needed, you need somebody on the bridge at all times. You need 2 crews essentially. So unless you go with a 3 or 4 shift rotation, come on board and screw up everything like Captain Jellicoe, bastard. Colin says the Protostar has an Intrepid class look from certain angles. Yeah, it does, especially from the side. When they were actually warping away at the end there and you see it from the side, I didn't realize it was so truncated. Like it's shorter than it looks, at least from that view. But other views it looks like long and sexy. I don't know. Could just be wrong. Oh look, Power 543 Fan Films is here. That's Samuel, everybody. He says, "Go, Stuart, you can do it. Horizon's got 2 warp cores. Fun fact: 1 large primary and one smaller one." There you go. I mean, the Horizon has it. It's created by Samuel, so it's got to be awesome, right? Big Kenga, knowledge they wouldn't even continue making Crossfield class ships. No, they wouldn't. I think there's probably only 3 maximum. And the first one, the crossfield, is probably literally an empty hull. It was just to test or to get the space frame. Named it the crossfield, made the Glenn and the Discovery with the actual Sportech, which the ship was built for because it has the spinny disc thing. No other ship would have that. Why would they? So the internals and the mechanisms for all that are kind of important to the way the sport drive operates. So I think there would be 3 at the most. We've talked about that before too. So why it's in the lineup of ships though makes not a lot of sense, if any, to be fair. So good tea, nice house. Member for 19 months at the rank of commander. Good to see you again. Discovery was instrumental in Earth Klingon War. Was it though? Was it though? Was there even an Earth Klingon War? No, there wasn't in Prime. That's right. Not to that extent. It was always a Cold War. There were a few border skirmishes here and there, but there was never, look, we're in the solar system. We can see Earth. A whole fleet of Klingon ships. Bullshit. That's why, again, another reason Disco is not Prime. It is the Discoverse. Discovery wasn't influential in anything or instrumental in anything, so just stop that shit. The only thing that Discovery was instrumental in was giving us Tilly. Come on now. That's just a fact. And Stamets. I like Stamets. He's cool. I would like a phase cloak on the USS Protostar. I love that the material they're mining for at the facility is chimerium, and the bad guy's ship has a chimera cloak. So that's cool. I don't know if I want the ship to have a cloak. I think that'd be kind of stupid. It's already got that 3rd experimental like power source or drive. So we got to find out what the hell that is first. But you don't want it to be too OP. And having a cloaking device and everything else is just a little much. It's the Omega 13 drive. Yeah, that's it. At least there isn't enough room for a turbolift cathedral. That's true. I do like the staircases, though, going up to the bridge. That's cool. Feed Me Seymour says, Colin, as I said, Discovery may not have been declassified. It was just a suggestion by Spock when interviewed at the end of Season 2 interview with Starfleet, and they said they would take it into consideration. Exactly. So, officially, it might have been just, I think there's a line of dialogue in Discovery that says officially it was considered destroyed at a certain battle or a certain sector, with no mention of the spore drive. So, I mean, that way you still acknowledge everybody that served on it. You can't erase their whole service histories and tell their families, or pay their families to shut up about them. Like, honestly, you can't redact everything about it, so. Big K in GA. Okay. YouTube names are sketchy at best to be able to read half the time, so. The only thing Discovery brought us, according to Matt, is Tilly and a massive headache. There you go. Samuel says, how could the disco be important in the Earth-Klingon War if its one ability and zipping around the galaxy was redacted? How could they still have those logs and be truly redacted? Exactly. We're not going to get into that debate here. Tilly, the Great Lorca, and the turbolift shafts. Okay, listen, Jericho, you're fired. I was talking about good things that Discovery brought us. The bad things, including the turbolift shafts, that's just, the list is too long. Lorca is a good one, though. Yes, Lorca was awesome. Samuel says the disco didn't appear to do anything since everything it ever did was redacted. Yeah, it was kind of a, hey, look, we're the Discovery. Oh, we got destroyed. Mark Lawrence, $5. Money! My kids and I enjoyed the episode. Now they want to watch Voyager to understand Janeway better. That's awesome. It is a Star Trek gateway drug, and that's cool. And gotta say, Janeway was on point. Her voice sounds perfect. I think it's great. Usually when they brought Tom Paris back for Lower Decks, I didn't sound like Tom Paris to me, but Janeway, it's definitely Janeway. She still got her distinctive Janeway voice, which I always said sounded like a munchkin, but I really like Janeway, so it's fine. All right. Colin says the ploy hole being that the Klingon intel on Discovery would have been available to Starfleet when the Klingons and Federation were allies. Yeah, but that's like Cold War secrets being leaked, and it's like how much can we trust this information? I don't know. I just think the Klingons didn't even know anything. They just know that the ship like appeared and like kills a bunch of their ships, and then flies. And the one ship that did see it doing that all the time, the Sifkovka ship, got destroyed. So, you know, it did come in and save a colony here and there, but that's about it. Samuel says the Great Koala is displeased with all this disco talk. Winky face. I agree. That's a whole conversation for a live. That'll be a whole live discussion talking about how redacted is Discovery, or why was the Crossfield class in the line of starships that they showed. Anyway. Jason O, I love the koala god running joke in Lower Decks. So does Samuel. Samuel thinks it's great. I think it's stupid, but anyway. Captain Chili Bean says, so I hate Dal. He's a real POS. Like all the other characters, though, this was just a very frustrating episode because of Dal. Okay, I disagree with you. I do say in our review that we filmed, that you'll see tomorrow, I do say that Dal annoys me a little bit in this episode just because he's such a selfish little bastard. But that's part of his character development. He's a kid who just escaped, thinks he's got the intelligence, thinks he was the one that did it, and nobody else had a part in it. And he's just being a kid. But at the end, he comes to the realization that, yeah, Janeway, you can help us. Please teach us a little bit more, which I really appreciate. So it's fine for the context, and it's perfect for the character. So I think it's fine. He annoyed me a little bit because he was a little bit of an asshole this episode, but honestly, I'd do the same thing at his age. I'd do the same thing now. Yeah, I have 2 teenage boys, or I had. Well, yeah, we got rid of one of them. He's now a municipal enforcement officer, so I mean, did something right, I guess. But yeah, I've had 2 teenage boys who are just complete idiots because they're teenagers, and we were all teenagers once. So don't tell me that Dal is out of character. He's not a POS. He'll figure it out, and I think he's a good person who's just a little bit misguided and doesn't. Yeah, he's a kid. He's still learning. So, Listen, Jericho. Oh, sorry, Alex Kurtzman. Oh my God. With a picture of Echep with his eye removed. Good job. Nice to hear Janeway recite the intro words. Yes, absolutely. Samuel says, also, Vance didn't have the info about the disco. It was confirmed redacted, so we know for a fact that there was no info on disco in Starfleet, because Starfleet or not. Oh, but that's 900 fucking years in the future and after the burn, so who knows what files were lost over 900 years. They're not going to have complete records of everything. Things get lost, things happen. Anyway, that is definitely a live discussion. Samuel again. The Great Koala will remember what you said just there about the Great Koala. And don't piss off the Great Koala. He is the Great Koala after all. Right. Taylor T puts in $5, so thank you so much. Broke my heart when Rock said she only knew the food from the from the child slave camp. Also an alien slave camp for kids. Damn, that's harsh for Nickelodeon. Well, orphans and criminals is what they said when the Kazon brought the little cadation or the cation. So it is dark for kids, but it's not a kids show necessarily. That marketing was silly. It's just because it's paid for by Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon has kids shows for young teenagers, whatever they're called, tweens, whatever the hell, young adults. There you go. That's it. So that's what this is. Simple. But it was very sad when she said that that's the only food she knows. Like, yeah, she was either brought as an infant or she was born there or something. So that's really sad. Taylor T. Oh, I just read that one. Never mind. Moving on. George says the Cation is still in slavery. They have to go back and get her. Who cares? It's a cat. Cats are assholes. She's cute because she's a kitten, but they all grew up to be dickhead assholes. What's she gonna do? They're gonna bring her on the ship. She's just gonna start walking around and sliding everything off of consoles, just pushing things off. Go shit in the corner or something. I don't know. We don't need to save her. They will. It'll be a thing. Trust me. They've already shown her again in this episode. So yes, they're going back and get her because Gwen had a nice relationship with her. So that will be a thing at some point. But do you really need that? I don't. Just saying. Phoebe Seymour, Prime Universe is the universe they came from, so as far as people in Discovery are aware, they are prime to their universe, which means they could exist before or after our prime. I'm not going to get into the prime argument. This one at least showed a TOS Enterprise, two of them, two Constitution class in the lineup, and not the Disco Prize. So that says something, but the fact that they included the crossfield kind of fucked that whole thing up because everything was perfect until you saw the crossfield, and it's like, what are you doing? But it's obviously it's marketing. It's cross promotion for another CBS brand. Surprised that Cerritos wasn't there. Just saying. But yeah, this is our other show. People might have seen this ship, so there you go. I am Misi puts in $5. Do you think they will keep each episode beginning with the last ended, or will there be time skips? That's a good question. I think we're going to see a lot of the just continuing on from the last one, because I think that might be a good way to do things. They've kind of hinted that by the end of the season, the kids might end up being in Starfleet uniforms. So I don't know. I don't think there's going to be any time jumps, actually. I think they're going to just continue. Each episode's just going to start where the last one ended. That's what I have a feeling. Samuel says, yeah, Captain Chili, it's because it's an hour earlier because of time zone. Yes, they already set their clocks back in the UK, so we do that this Sunday, so we'll be back on...
Unless you're on
Bell, yeah, I already explained that to Samuel. Bell Network sucks, and they did it last weekend. Made everybody late for work, but thank God I'm not on Bell because I used to work for Bell, and Bell sucks. Just saying. I shouldn't talk bad about my former employers, but... Matt Boardman throws in $5, so thank you, Matt. No matter what anyone may say about the stories, this show looks absolutely gorgeous. Yes, the art design is fantastic. The CGI is impressive as hell. As Samuel said, a lot of the scenes look like paintings, like they're so beautiful, like the nebulas and stuff. And you get some really amazing close-ups of like people's eyes, and it's so detailed. So yes, I totally agree. The animation style is fantastic. Mark Lawrence throws in $10. Thank you so much, Mark. Crossfield class records could be altered to be a regular ship class. CVN-65 Enterprise was a one-of-a-kind, or so only 2 or 3 wouldn't be unheard of. Hide it in plain sight. Yes, exactly. Would raise too many questions for all the people that worked on the project to develop the Crossfield class, to build the Crossfield class, and then the Glenn and Discovery to say, you know that Discovery ship you built? You never built that ship. That is not the ship you were working on. Yeah, see, you can't do that. It's easier to just say, oh yeah, that ship got destroyed in a battle, it's fine, they're all dead. Screw those guys. All right, let me see in here. 103 people, which is awesome. 71 likes, which is all right. We could do 75. We can hit 100 right now. So everybody hit that like button if you're just joining us and haven't hit it yet. Let's try to get to 100. I think that's very, very doable. Jason O says, go watch Avatar if you think Nickelodeon is afraid to go dark. Exactly. Exactly. A lot of their shows kind of have those adult themes. So, Ozzy Medeiros, $2. Superior Commander Murph is the Great Koala. Yeah. Jason O says they actually respect kids' intelligence. Yep. Feed Me Seymour says, 1, Spock suggested declassifying and treason to talk about Discovery. 2, Tyler is head of Section 31, so he could have redacted it more. 3, Strange New Worlds may add more light on Discovery declassification. Yes, absolutely. All those things are true. Samuel says the cat and Murph will be the new power couple. Samuel, go to bed. You're crimping my style, man. Hezraz, I just like that poor kid. I don't think Gwen is a bad guy. She is someone who didn't realize she is on the wrong side. Yes, and the more she hears, the more she's cluing in. Like, she even made a statement in the first episode. Dreadnought says, your father has plans for you. And she's like, yeah, and he never tells me. And in this one, she's walking back and forth in the brig. And Zero is saying, yeah, I was trying to read her mind, but I can't. I want to find out why the ship is so important to her dad. So she's taking all this information in. Her dad never told her about the ship, or that's the whole purpose for the mining on that planet, to find the ship. So, yeah, she's not a bad person at all. She's definitely going to clue in. She's already kind of, you see some hints of it in every episode so far, so. Smart Smears, we don't need to save her. Time to leave the captain on the mining asteroid and bring vacation to host the show. No. Not cool. Captain Foley is anti-cation. I could say something, but I'm not going to, because I'm just not going to. Matt Borman says, I think they said that for sure there's a moment where they put on uniforms, though maybe not at what point. They didn't say for sure. They just, on the Star Trek Day panel, they said, and you might be happy at the end of the season, because you might see some, yeah, so they kind of heavily implied it, but you know how they are. Squadron Course, Lyrans and Cations and Consinti. Oh my. Yeah, there's a lot of cat species in Star Trek. BJ Turon says municipal enforcement officer sounds scary. Nah. General Grievous, when Discovery was reported lost with all hands, Spock and company all agreed not to talk about the spore drive or the Discovery. So yeah, that's a weird thing. Feed Me Seymour says, and I mean, a version of Discovery may have existed in TOS, not the Disco Discovery, but a TOS Discovery. Sure. Good T Nice House says, Bell Canada has left the chat. I don't care. Joseph says, Prodigy might have the best soundtrack of New Trek. I would say yes. It's very cinematic. Samuel says, oh my fucking God, I can click like this time and help you out. Oh, thanks, man. Don't swear on my stream, though. He also said, make me, when I said go to bed.
Oh.
Right? I'm your captain. I'm ordering you to go to bed.
That's it. I'm buying you a plane.
I need a well-rested number one for tomorrow. So get your ass to Mars. I mean, to bed. Darth Maul, not to mention how many millions of people saw Discovery in action. Very hard to hide. Not millions of people saw it in action. Nobody saw it in action. People on the ship knew what was going on. Like I said, there's some Klingons attacking a colony. All of a sudden, it comes in and starts blasting them. And then takes off. Are you going to believe that story? How dishonorable is that? You survive that and be like, yeah, the ship, it just disappeared. And your fellow Klingons would be like, oh, so dishonorable. You just ran away from a battle. Nobody's going to believe that shit. The colonists, they saw it like, but that's like a urban legend. That would turn into like a, you know, like a ghost story of sorts, I think. And who else? The only people that really saw it in action, like I said, were the Klingons and the sarcophagus ship, where it's like doing all the jumps around it and triangulating it and then blow it up. So they're all dead. So not a lot of people saw it. You don't. The people on the planet aren't being able to see it do its thing. So Eric Martin, will they have a holographic doctor on board and will he fix Dalzier? Dalzier bothers me too. Like, just cut a chunk out of your ear, why don't you? Andrew Prime, what do you think of the shuttle printer? I think it's a fantastic idea. We talked about that leading into this live. And we will have a video on it at some point because I think it's a good idea, especially for a small ship. And we talked about all that, how it would work and all that. So we will have a video on it. You can check out later. Eric Martin says, someone show Rock Talk how to make pizza or mac and cheese. Right? Let's see, a rock creature. What do a rock creature want to eat? Something with a lot of hot sauce, like lava hot sauce. Am I right? Yes. Cement, liquid cement. Yes. I don't know. Feed Me Seymour. Ooh, meta. They reclassify and redesign the Crossfield class, and the new purpose was a proposed variant of Enterprise Phase 2, but never got used because it wasn't Discovery based on a Phase 2 concept. It was based on an early Ralph McQuarrie drawing for a Star Trek movie that was going to be called Planet of the Giants. Planet of the Titans? No, Planet of the Giants. So not really Phase 2. And the design's quite different. Yeah, no. Yeah. Fleet Pass puts in $2. I was happy. Spoke Klingon. A curse word at that. She said a Klingon curse word. I know she cursed. I saw the subtitle, but I didn't recognize it as Klingon. I assumed it was like her own language, but okay. General Grievous, $2. Rock and Murph. Mock or Roof. What? General Grievous, go home. You're drunk. Mario says, I'd be surprised if they ended up in uniforms. The design of Rock Talk, whatever, kind of requires showing a lot of stone. That's really sexist. She's a little girl. Don't do that. She's wearing coveralls right now. There could be Starfleet version of coveralls that she could wear. Jeremy, I like your way you think. Jeremy Caulfield says, the Cation has 8 more lives, don't worry. Exactly. Matt Boardman says, the end credit theme is beautiful. I didn't even stay and listen to it because it didn't kick in right away. It was very soft build up. So I just said, screw it, and didn't watch it. I like the opening, though. It's great. Captain Chili Bean, the music is really, really good. Maybe the best in New Trek. Yes, I read that one already. Was it you that said it earlier or somebody else? Anyway. Squadron Chorus. I like the Prodigy opening theme, but some of the music feels like it's missing something. Especially in the first episode. Like I said, it's got a lot of those JJ licks that dun 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 dun. It's got that build up, but no. Bum, 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 bum. Like that's what really pays off for me with that JJ music. The JJ soundtrack is by far the best thing that came out of that movie. And they've got the build-up beats, the dun 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 dun, but they don't have the big payoff, the big boombastic like Star Trek theme. That's what it's missing, because there's at least 3 or 4 times in the first episode or 2 that you hear that build-up and there's just no payoff, and it's like, oh my God, you're teasing us. So I kind of hate that, but at the same time, all the other music's pretty great. So. Feed Me Seymour, just a thought. Strange New Worlds. Pike knows his fate because of time crystals, but I wonder if this haunts Pike in the new series. Probably. We had a discussion about that not that long ago. And it could be, too, that it's a memory that fades after time because it was initiated by a time crystal, so maybe it's something that eventually kind of slips back in his mind. I mean, I'm sure he'd make logs on it, obviously, or talk to a counselor, but still. How would you believe it after a while? Like, the problem with it is it makes him a god character, essentially. It's like, oh, I'm going to die on a Starfleet cadet training ship in the engineering, saving some people. All right, cool. I can beam down to that planet that has no atmosphere without a spacesuit. I won't die there. That's the problem. It kind of, it's too convenient. He knows he won't die until he's in that situation, so he has to either forget about it or think that it's not a possibility or that he can change his fate, maybe. So, yeah, I don't know. Sam Wright, can chat please talk about Prodigy and stop arguing about Discovery? I agree, Sam. I'll just stop reading the Discovery stuff. That's a discussion for another live. Hezraz, a hologram of a hologram, hologram of the Voyager, Dr. Hologram, super meta. What? That's a lot of holograms. What are you talking about? George Mangrum, $2. Thoughts on the Diviner ship? Feels very, not Star Trek, feels very Star Wars. It is kind of doing a transforming thing, and then you see the front of it. You don't really see the ship that great, honestly. And I love that the colony, the mining facility, has the cloak. So the ship's okay. I mean, we need to see more of it. It definitely looks like a match for Protostar, though, because Protostar is not that big. So, Mr. Jericho says you can pre-order the Cerritos on Eagle Moss. Yes, you can. Squadron Course, I think Rock Talk is my favorite character so far. Actually, I think my favorite character is Zero, or Z. The cool way to, as the cool kids call him. But the Medusan is cool, so yeah, and Janeway, of course. Rock Talk's all right, but I don't know. Just saying. Andrew Prime, my daughter laughed when Rock Talk started talking. She thought it was funny. She's 5. Well, yeah, she's a little girl. And she's like hearing a little girl voice come to this big thing. Like, it's like, that's hilarious to little kids. I think that's cool that she liked that. Captain Chili Bean, sorry, Captain, if I'm repeating points already said. I just got here. That's okay. But it was basically like a direct quote from one I read earlier. So, this is Jericho. Did the escape pods have a beyond look to them? Well, we didn't really see them. We saw the outside, like the door. And then if you look on there's actually a schematic or an MSD of the ship, or a schematic, I guess. When she was looking for them, showed regular, and they look exactly like the Enterprise E's escape pods, the same shape. And there's like 3 on one side, 3 on the other side, on the top of the saucer at least, or maybe it was the bottom. Can't remember right now. So the exteriors at least look prime. The interiors I didn't really pay that much attention to, honestly. Which is, I need to go back and watch that now. Like you said that. Samuel says, Stuart likes a powerful release when it comes to being satisfied when listening to music. Hell yeah, I do. Hezraz, Hello Janeway is going to be Space Mom and Dad's, well, she's Hollow Nanny. Space Parents, Hello Janeway needs to eventually meet Admiral Janeway. Yes, that'd be a great way to end this series. Wonder if she becomes like sentient in their own, just like the Doctor did. Feed Me Seymour, is the opening theme different from the review of the released intro for Prodigy? Could be a good Trekyards episode comparing the released footage and actual intro. It's all the same. I think the music's the same, but the intro is definitely the same because we did a whole breakdown of that when it first was shown. Lucy Jericho, they need to change the Janeway hologram to Lorca, then we could get somewhere. Good God. Ezra, you missed a comment about the awesome twist. Have a hologram of the Doctor from Voyager be the Doctor on the ship. So he's a hologram of a hologram. Ah, okay. That's the meta-ness. Gotcha. Problem is, he's a Mark 1. And all the Mark 1s are mining dilithium. That's probably changed now because Voyager's back. But still. Anyway. Yeah. Photons be free. Captain Chili Bean, I just ordered a Cetacean Ops sweatshirt and Klingon Acid Punk t-shirt. Great holiday presents. I wouldn't mind getting a Cetacean Ops sweatshirt. But Klingon Acid Punk, not interested. Feed me Seymour. I mean, if the EMH walks into the holodeck, does his portable projection end and the holodeck re-renders them? Yeah, you'd use the, well, with his mobile emitter, you mean? Probably not.
There was an episode of Fairhaven, remember when they tied them all up because they
Yes.
thought they were fairies, and when they pulled off the mobile emitter, the holodeck kicked in and he got sucked into the story.
Yes. Listen to this one, you will. But she is smart. She's the admiral. She'll make us go. Let's see. That's because the program was corrupted, though. That's why he got sucked in.
Well, yeah, but at the moment the the mobile emitter
He
gets moved,
phased for a second.
Yeah.
And then, yes.
because the holodeck was on, so it took over. It's kind of like a backup.
Colin says the interior of the Protostar looks to be a new advanced version of the Starfleet standard look. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. It looks like a few other things as well. There'll be videos coming. You know how it is. Star Trek fan forever puts in $5. Did the online graphic of where things were indicate where they are located? I couldn't see for sure, but you guys are really good with that stuff. The online graphic of where things were indicate where they were located. Oh, in the Delta Quadrant, you mean? Like on the galactic chart? Or what do you mean specifically, Star Trek fan? Because it didn't show where they were in relation to the Alpha Beta quadrants, except for a whole bunch of scrolling until he got to way far away from there because he didn't want to go. So, Sam, right, when they jettison everything from the ship, we see other escape pods before they start ejecting the ones in the next scene, so it's possible all pods are accounted for. I'm sure they all got ejected. Yeah, the ship was doing what it was supposed to do, but they better get new goddamn escape pods because I don't want to be flying around a ship without escape pods. Just saying. Squadron course. Do you think there's a cetacean medical officer in the Cerritos? If so, do they perform cetacean operations? That's a very good question. Probably not on the Cerritos. The Cerritos shouldn't even have cetacean ops. It's a low tier California class ship. It shouldn't have cetacean ops. That's an issue I have with them showing up in lower decks. It shouldn't even have a captain's yacht either, but whatever. But to be fair, they don't have dolphins. They don't have bottlenose dolphins or killer whales like the Galaxy class cetacean ops do. They only have beluga whales. They get the stupid horny whales. Nothing against beluga whales, but what?
What do you say horny?
Because they wanted Rutherford to come in and take his shirt off because he looks sweaty. They wanted him to go swimming.
It's not even horny, that just makes them pervy.
Yeah, well, have you ever seen those videos of like people that go to resorts and someone with the dolphins and the dolphins like try to hump people? It's a thing that dolphins do.
Maybe it's a dominance thing, because dog humps
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, a little chihuahua humps my foot. Yeah, it's exactly that. So that's the joke.
And she's a girl.
Yeah. Eric says, I thought it was odd that Dal kept making stupid decisions and yet everyone obeyed him. Well,
Kids.
they're kids. They don't know. He's confident. So they're just like, all right, cool, we'll do that. We're bulletproof. We're kids. We're not going to die. Love you, sweetie. Good night. Let's see. Samuel says, can we get a like spike, guys? 100 likes. Yeah, we're at 93, guys. We need 7 more likes. 86 of you here. hit that like button. 100's easily within reach. We could probably do 120 right now, honestly, so give it a hit. Let's see. Captain Chili Beano, when do you think Chakotay will appear? He needs to give Dal a stern talking to. He absolutely does, and that's a good question. I don't know when he's going to appear. I kind of expected to see him in this episode, like have a little Alpha Quadrant tangent or something, but I don't know. That's a good question. They forgot the escape pods. Oh, they definitely left the escape pods there. Those were all that stuff was getting sucked into the thing, so they definitely forgot them, but you could replicate new ones, put them in, or whatever. So, I mean, just please get new escape pods. It really bugs me. My OCD is saying, there's no escape pods on the ship. You're flying around with a ship with holes in it, essentially, where the escape pods should be. So please, for the love of God, replace your escape pods. It really bugs me. Feed me Seymour, where would they put a whale on Protostar unless that's what the Protostar engine is, a robot whale? Wow, I'm not even going to address that because that was just... Hezra says, apparently dolphins are little pervs. There's a documentary. Yeah, I'd heard about that. General Grievous says, ship replicator. Yes, they could replicate new escape pods for sure and just maneuver them in or beam them into the slots. Yes, absolutely. SC Scout Guy. So I wonder if a copy of this Janeway hologram might exist in one of Quark's holosuites. Just asking. You wish. Squadron Course, I noticed that while watching Lower Deck Season 1, Mariner mentions that she stole the keys to the Captain's yacht in an episode before we see the yacht. Yes, but, and I remember that, but the fact is it's Mariner saying it, so is it real? Why does it have keys? That's another thing. It's like just an odd line. It was just like a one-off line until it wasn't. Because all of a sudden there's a real Captain's yacht. So, you know, it's one of those humor lines, which, yeah. Hezra says, I think they referred to him as Captain Chakotay, so I think that would be a real Chakotay. Oh, it's the real Chakotay for sure, and yes, he's a captain now. He's a captain now? He's a captain now. Jeremy Caulfield, TNG Voyager and the Cerritos don't have science bridge officers. It's true. The science officer is essentially the operations officer. Alex Kurtzman, how is your recording office, Captain? Did you fix it yet? Yes, they actually came and did the first coat of paint today downstairs. I'm doing a captain's log on the whole restoration of the basement, so that'll be out when it's finished. So I'm just filming little bits and pieces here and there and gonna put it all together. But they did the first coat of paint today. The paint color looks exquisite. We picked a really good paint color for down there now. And yeah, it's coming along really well. Still probably be another, I'm gonna say a week at least. But we'll see how it goes. Samuel says, yeah, Squadra, we saw that too after the episode aired. We just assumed she was joking. Yes. Eric Martin, if I had a free replicator mess hall, I'd be 400 pounds. But Eric, I've said this before. A replicator knows your dietary needs. If you order like 15 cheeseburgers, it's not going to let you consume that. You notice no one in Starfleet is fat or obese or overweight? It can calculate and change the molecular formula of the food to taste the same, but have the exact amount of calories or nutritional requirements that your body needs. So there's that. But yeah, I would be fat too, and I'd also have a holo addiction to the holodeck. So Samuel says, replace your escape pods and spray and neuter your pets. The classic sayings. Yes. Hezra says, I love how Jankum Pog went full out on ordering food and he realized he didn't have to pay. That is all of us in that type of situation. Yes. Captain Chilibina, I think Captain Chakotay is still with 709 at this point in the timeline before Echep died and she becomes a murderer. No, I don't think so. This is a few years before Picard, so I mean possibly, but I kind of doubt it. Carlos says, did you water sealing the basement foundation from the outside? No. Why would we? Okay, there's a drain in our basement, which links up with the storm drain thing, because apparently that's what they do for all the houses around here. I don't know why, but anyway, so when the storm drain backed up, the water just backed up and came through the drain thing. So we need to put a backflow thing in there so that when the water starts coming the other way, it just blocks it. It didn't come through the foundation. The foundation's fine, and I'm not digging up all around my house. Plus, it's a duplex, so no, we're not doing that. Whoop Whoop is here with $50 and a little bag of money. So thank you so much, Whoop Whoop. That is amazing. I need to have a drink because of that super chat. It's not alcoholic, but my throat's getting a little parched. Samuel. We do know if she's 7 of 9. We don't know anything after the end game present day, so we can't say that. It's all a blank. Feed me, Seymour. If your basement refit doesn't look like a Federation office, are you really a Trek fan? Samuel says, whoop whoop to your whoop whoop, thanks. Yeah, Samuel's not really aware of Whoop Whoop. I've mentioned him a few times to Samuel, but Samuel's never here on these late lives, so Whoop Whoop shows up and swoops in occasionally with a $50 super chat here or there to have me take a shot. Basement /A. Yeah. General Grievous, member for 2 months at the rank of captain. Thank you, General. Captain, are you a general or a captain? You're a general captain? Or you're a captain general? I like that you're a general captain, and I'm a specific advanced captain. Anyway, says the ship replicator could be an explanation for industrial replicators we've seen mentioned in TNG and DS9, just a shipboard application of industrial one. Yeah, absolutely. Feed me, Seymour. Literally got to get a sign for your basement door saying basement A. Mike Bravo. Did you see the Eagle Moss Cerritos? Yes, I did. That's his first thing. 2, doesn't the saucer on the Protostar look like the saucer from Enterprise F? Similar, yeah, but a lot of the ships of Star Trek Online, and even a lot of Rick's designs from Voyager with the Delta head, with the arrowhead, look the same. So, yes, it does look like the Enterprise F, but... Jeremy Caulfield, by the 3rd cheeseburger, it would have the nutritional value of lettuce, but still taste the same, hopefully, so that'd be fine with that. Hezraz, the Chakotay 7 thing was a mistake. I assume the relationship didn't last more than a month in the revised timeline. You know, ironically, I just watched that episode in-game like 2-3 weeks ago, and I never noticed it before, but each of them have the thing over their eye. That's the same eye. She's got the Borg implant thing, and he's got his tattoo, and they're shaped the same. It's like, aw, you got matching head accessories. Squadron Core says the saucer on the Protostar reminds me of the USS Horizon. Fleet Pod says, you know, Grievous, you'd fit on the Protostar. She could replicate your new body parts every time Obi-Wan cuts an appendage off. Leave poor General Grievous alone. Ozzy said, how is your basement coming? It's coming along very well. Jeremy says, my 3rd car is a transporter. Good Tea Nice House. What's up with the Red Planet Hollow Janeway was so hesitant about going to? That was the collapsing star. Because she says, the thing about that is, and he's like, I don't care, we're going there. She's like, all right. And then they get there, and she's like, I tried to warn you. That's what it was. It was a red giant. Hezraz. So sorry, at Whoop Whoop. I know I can't help myself. I mentioned it before. Whoop Whoop for the Whoop Whoop. Squadron Course says, I guess the ship replicator is like an advanced industrial replicator. Yeah. Mario says, my only problem with the replicator is that I can't accept that the warp drive would have worked. All right, here we go again. If it did have a warp drive, all it has to do is make the components for it, which it's a replicator. That's what it does. So it could build a warp core and then beam in antimatter and antimatter from the ship's antimatter and matter and antimatter stores into the warp core to get it fully activated. It could also beam in deuterium for fuel, which is what it would probably do, because it probably can't replicate deuterium. There's some elements the replicator can't make. So, like I said earlier, if there's a storage room or something that has components like isolinear chips for the computer or circuit boards or whatever it needs to make a computer core and or equipment for the warp drive, have those stored in a bay. Once you've built the ship, you beam the thing in as part of the replication or the assembly process, and you got a fully working ship. When you can't replicate specific things, you just have them available to beam in as it's building it. So it's also possible that it doesn't have a warp core and it's basically just a ship to get off the ship onto planet surface, in which case you just need impulse engines or some kind of a reactor. So easily doable. General Grievous. That's a cheap shot. Sweet Paw. Definitely adding your saber to my collection. Hezraz. They bonded over head accessories. Feed Me Seymour. 709 probably left Chakotay to look after her half-Borg babies as she traveled the galaxy saving Picard. Captain Chili Bean, I'm legit amazed that Samuel is still awake. I'm in Philly and I'm about to head to sleep. Sleep to you, oh, he's always up this late. He's usually up till like 4 or 5 a.m. his time. So, yeah. It's a thing. He's kind of on West Coast time. So, our schedules actually link up pretty well because I stay up late too and I get up about the same time that he does. Sometimes he gets up an hour or two earlier, but our schedules are pretty much on the same. Our cycles have synced up. That's all I'll say. If I recall correctly, you can't beam antimatter unless it's in a special container. Yes, the magnetic containment that holds it. There's magnetic canisters that hold the antimatter. So you just beam that in. You got a container, got a fucking top on it with a twisty thing, some kind of lock. You beam the fucking container in. It's a magnetic containment thing with the antimatter. Once it's in place, the mechanism, and you got antimatter. It's pretty simple. Hezraz, I have to admit, I noticed a few times that Janeway allows them to make stupid mistakes to teach them. Made me laugh. She likes to throw them to the wolves. Yes, but she's also got hologram that she'll also obey orders, it seems. So she can't just override what they're doing. She's said that a few times. Is she teaching them a lesson? Yes, probably. Can she take over? Possibly. But I'm not 100% sure about that. General Grievous puts in $2. Hollow Janeway and Hollow Coffee is a nice touch. Samuel says, the shuttle replicator was the best part of the episode. Easily my favorite part. The best makes all the sense. That's sarcasm 101. I totally disagree with Samuel on the replicator thing, but it is what it is. There might be a video coming out about it. Jeff Sturm is yelling, says, YouTube did not notify me this started. Did you click the bell notification icon to all? And yeah, even if you did, YouTube's shit, so. P.M. Seymour, not talking about Discovery, but in season 2 of Discovery, it talks about using the replicator, but wouldn't be able to power it or something about that. It's when they get Tilly's queen friend. Yeah, but that was post fucking that was pre-TOS. This is like 5 years after Voyager gets back. This is like 100+ years in the future. So, like I said, as you're assembling the ship or replicating the parts, basically assembling it, just beam the components in you need from other parts of the ship that have them in stores, or maybe it's advanced enough that it can build certain things like that. Who cares? Just enjoy it. Jeff Sturm, I am subscribed. There was nothing. Being subscribed isn't clicking the bell notification icon. There's a little bell there. click it and select all. There's all, there's notify, and there's off. If you click notify, you'll get notified some of the time. You click all, theoretically, you're supposed to get notified all the time, but it's YouTube, so it doesn't matter. So just being subscribed doesn't cut it. That's why we always say, hit the like button, subscribe, and click the notification bell icon to all. Synced cycles mean you are close. LOL. Friendship. Exactly. Captain Chili being an interesting limitation of Janeway not being able to override, only available for limited applications. We'll see if that changes. Yeah, I don't know if that's necessarily the case. She is just a training hologram or a help program, essentially. So I don't know what she's capable of. I don't know if she's smarter than we think she is. I do think she knows that they're not cadets. I think she was just kind of saying that. She had kind of a smirk on her face, like, you're just cadets. Because even cadets would be wearing uniforms, cadet uniforms. So maybe we'll get an emergency command Janeway. That'd be awesome. Number one sci-fi says, what is next? A holo replicator that can build another ship? Sure, why not? General Grievous, if you watch the interview on Paramount Channel with Bearded Wesley, Kate Mulvey confirmed that as a hologram version of Janeway, she isn't in charge and has to follow orders. Yes, because she does say, what are your orders, Captain? Quite a few times. When do you think Quinn will be part of the bridge crew? Well, there is no Quinn. If you mean Gwen, pretty soon, I think. She's going to come around. Her dad's going to choose the ship over her at some point when they run into each other. And she's going to realize that he doesn't care about her. He cares more about the ship. That's going to piss her off. Okay, the Dr. EMH on Voyager could outrank crew ECH, I think he became. So, theory, Holo Janeway outdoor take over the ship, but isn't she under the impression they are the crew? We don't know. She is kind of under the impression that they are the crew, yes. But I don't think she's that stupid. I did that. Have all selected for everything. And it didn't notify me. Yeah, I know. That's because YouTube sucks. I have a lot of channels too that I selected all notifications, and I fucking find out, oh, that's a new video 3 months ago. What the hell? Fleetpaw says, reverse the polarity of the thingamabob and insert it into the whatchamacallit, then activate the who's a whatsits to activate the printed shuttle warp core. Jeremy Caulfield, the replicated shuttle, I would be reluctant to use it until it was inspected. There's safety margins, come on. Can Holo Janeway take over? Real Janeway allowed creation of an ECH. Of the ECH, yes, true. Sam Wright, a device that can replicate anything is perfect toy tech material for kids to use their imagination. Do not understand why so many hands have issues with it. It's fun. I totally agree, Sam. Totally agree. And it does fit within the universe and the technology advancements, in my opinion, so I really see no issue with it at all, especially on a smaller ship where they don't have room for shuttles. You need to build one real quick. You can do so. I have no issues. Aren't Federation personnel chipped? No. What the fuck, Carlos? They're not chipped? Why would you say that? Sometimes they have subdermal transceivers or whatever, but that's for specific missions, so they can be traced when they're on a planet without their comm badge. And we've seen them put them in and take them out a few times, but no, they're not chipped. SC Scout guys, so are you saying that Holo Janeway has to do what you tell it to do? Don't be dirty. Squadron Corps, totally agree that Diviner will choose Protostar over Gwen. Eric says, I wonder if Chakotay will be a training program or if it will send him after the Protostar. Starfleet doesn't like technology falling in the wrong hands after all. He's not going to be a training program because he's Captain Janeway, or he's Captain Chakotay, and he's got a crew. Jason Alexander is a Tellarite who's his medical officer. He's got an Andorian and can't remember the other one, the girl. Unless the girl's the Andorian. Anyway, there's 3 crew members that were announced for him, so. And no, Jeff, it's not just you. YouTube is broken. General Grievous, I could see that coming. I mean, she's limited on the ships, but I can definitely see the crew trying to include her and help her program grow. Yeah, absolutely. Multi-gunman, Starstruck. Well, thank you. You're not so bad yourself, Foley. Thanks, man. Federation personnel tracked by the communicators. They are not shipped unless they're on a covert mission where they get the subdermal thing put in. I think Hollow Janeway has the ability to manipulate or subtly influence people into doing what she wants, but of course is not in charge. Yes, I would agree. Number 1 sci-fi. The ship apparently has 2 warp cores and 1 proto-core, which is the 3rd engine. Yes. I'm doing well, Multi-Gunman. How are you doing? Data was chipped. He had a lot of chips. Colin says, I'm liking Star Trek Prodigy so far. Looking forward to the rest of the season. It will be interesting to see Captain Chakotay talk to Hollow Janeway. Yes. Wonder if Hollow Janeway has a hollow dog. She did leave one behind in Voyager. Yes, a golden retriever. Harry Kim will finally make it to Lieutenant Junior grade. Sam Wright says, not entirely sure how Zero's body works. Sometimes it needs legs, sometimes it floats. Haven't really seen how or why changes per scene. One with some clarification at some point. There's only one scene that shows it, and that's in the first episode where they come on the bridge. You see Zero like from the back. You see Dal in the ship on the bridge, and you see Zero come in, and then you see the leg come down, and then they got legs. But yeah, I don't think they need that. I think just floating is fine, and it floated through this whole episode, so I don't know. Fleet hit that like button, folks. No reason you can't be at 125 right now. Hit like, make Foley happy. Well, I'm never happy, but 106 likes is amazing, guys. Hit that like button. As Fleet said, he knows where you live and he knows where you sleep, so he'll be after you if you don't. SC Scout Guy, do you think Murph character is just there for comic relief? Do you think he may have a bigger role in the show? I think he's going to have a bigger role in the show at some point. I think he's very young, kind of changeling creature, and that's why he's eating so much, because he's growing, and I think he's going to be very important. He's already activated the phasers. He's already found the turbo lift. I mean, those seem like small, innocuous little things, but he's also spit out that goo. I think he's growing. I think he's going to be an important character. If he's not, that's fine too. I like that he's just a pet, kind of like my pug, kind of like Precious, just kind of a dumb pet. That's cute. So either way, but I think he's going to be more important in the long run. Squadron course. 2-0's legs fold up behind the ball, so we don't see them when she's facing towards us. Don't know. Jeremy Caulfield, what are you doing with that dog? And I'm not talking about the puppy. That was a great episode. Number 1 sci-fi. Are you going to do a video on the Provo core since that is something new? Yes, of course we will. Once we actually fucking see it work. Yes. And I know we see it in the intro. I get that. Yes, but we need an explanation. We need to see it happen in the show. We need that. We'll definitely be doing a video on it. That's what we do. Hezraz, 2 questions. 1, is Murph sentient? I would say yes. I believe he is. 2, do the other kids know if Murph is sentient or are trying to figure it out? Remember the Ferengi with Archer's dog. I don't know if they know necessarily. I think Rock Talk in the last episode where she brought Murph on board said, I can't wait to hear what he has to say. Maybe he's just too intelligent for the translator. So Rock definitely wants it to be a sentient creature. So I don't know. We'll see. I think it's just very young. I think that's why it hasn't done anything. General Grievous, I would love Dwight Schultz to return as Barclay. It would be interesting if he helped to design the Protostar since he had been on the Pathfinder project. Yeah, I kind of said that earlier, actually. It'd be cool if the Protostar was part of the Pathfinder project or something therein. But yeah, I think Barkley making an appearance in the show is definitely a thing that should happen. Emergency power for Replicator is important for a much more important reason: to make coffee. Hezraz, I get the sense Little Murph is really young, or they just don't understand them. Yes, Murph is the smartest creature in the known universe. Murph is the great koala. We're going to find that out. Hezraz, or is Murph more like Groot, just too smart for people to understand? Possibly. Kashenek says, great episode. I agree, it was fun. Ishad Simmons, the industrial replicator on the ship is an interesting concept. Do you think that's because of the equinox? No. They've talked about industrial replicators before in TNG and DS9, and it is a small ship, so maybe that was a consideration with the equinox. I kind of like that, actually, but they could have used one for sure. But yeah, I think the replicator is fine. I really like the idea. I know Samuel kind of poo-poos on it, but Feed Me Seymour. I think Murph might be inspired by Yaphet Norville. As Yaphet voice actor passed away, maybe this character in Prodigy is a tribute. Maybe. No. Murph was created way before Norm Macdonald passed away, so it's not a tribute at all. Inspired by, maybe, but they've even, one of the people that works on the show even says that they're really proud that nobody's clued into the connection with Murph as to what he actually is, because it's a deep cut for Star Trek. It's something that's a super Easter egg, basically. But I think it's just a young changeling. So, Power. Oh, Samuel's here. The real question, is Murph going to be captain in season 2? No. Bill 23799, new drive. Could it be transwarp drive? I mean, it could be. There's a transwarp button, but I don't want it to be. Murph tried to eat the captain's chair to say that he could make command decisions. Maybe. I like when they had the holograms in this little planet, and Murph like, hump, and it just like floats through the back of his head, and he looks all disappointed. Fleet Paul, Gull is too low a title for me. I prefer Leggett. Ooh, you get a Leggett up. This is Jericho. I think you mean the cat is the smartest crew member. Okay. Don't know what you mean by that. There's no cat. Jeremy says, Ransom from Lower Decks has the same name as the captain of the Equinox. Uh-huh. And a lot of people have the same names. That being said, Commodore Decker from Doomsday Machine is Will Deckard's dad, so it doesn't mean they're related just because they have the same name. Keshenk says, I do love Hollow Janeway. I totally agree. Hezraz, some think he is a changeling, others think he is a baby Horta. Others think he is the same race as the caretaker. Who knows? One day we will. Yeah, one day we'll know. I never thought about the Horta thing. Totally opposite of what a Horta is, because they're silicon based and they eat through rock. This one's kind of gelatinous and gooey. I don't know. Could be fine. There's a baby, it changes form when it grows up. Sure. P.B. Seymour, Murph mystery, I like it. Let's start the theories. He's really Odo. No, wait, he's Baby Yoda. Oh, wait, no, it's Spock. And whoop whoop again with another $50, because the other one was just timing out. Thank you so much, whoop whoop. One more, then I'm tapped out. I'll pay forward more when I can catch another live. Thank you for all that you do. Well, thank you, whoop whoop, for all that you do. You are amazing. So that is awesome. Thank you so much. And yes, feel free to join and talk in the chat without super chatting as well. We don't just want you here for the super chats. I want you to be part of the community and talk. So, but I really appreciate you watching, and thank you so much for the super chats. They really mean a lot, especially on these late night lives where I get a lot less when we do our regular ones. It really helps out the channel. So thank you so much. I hear Pug. Show us Pug or your mutiny. Puggins, come here. I don't want the mutiny to happen. Come here. Come here. Come here. No, come here. Come here. Don't turn away from me. I know you're camera shot. I don't want them to see me because I'm fat. Put on weight. Here's my Murph. Are you Murph? There's the Pug. Everybody super chat for the Pug. Super chat $5 to give her treats. Oh, it's a big yawn. Who wants treats? Treats. I'll get you treats later. People like you. I don't know why, but they like you. General Grievous, interesting. A spore life form, like the caretaker had in the gelatinous form before he died and turned into coral. It's not a horda, just like it's not a tumor. Could Murph be some goo from the demon planet? No, where does that come from? He's not silver. No, that is the. I've heard like 3 people say that, and no offense, Squadra Course, but that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. No. Now, having said that, it's probably exactly what it is, and I'll look like an idiot, but no. No, please no. Murph might be from the Horta planet. They did show silver eggs. I didn't see one, but should do a rewatch. Murph is a Vulcan marshmallow. I wish Dot would make an appearance. Dot, come here. Come here. Yes, he's so guy. See Dot? Dot's grumpy. Oh, stop. Okay, go lay down. This is Dot. So there, Dot has made an appearance now. She's old and grumpy. Yeah, I know, you're old and grumpy. Squadra Course throws in $1, I assume for Precious, but thank you. Murph is the sphere data from Discovery. Fleet Pass Swiftback, $5. Pug, you shook your money maker at Trekyards and you received. Laughing my ass off. Murph is Data's child. Species 8470, $5. Treats for the puppy. Oh, they're just giving you treats. They like you. Yeah. She's like all perked up like, huh? Is it dumber than dilithium fuel? Yes. Murph is a sentient gel pack from Voyager. Hey, that makes more sense than the demon planet. I like that. Same color, too. Oh, that would be cool, actually. Oh. Sam, that's good. Hezraz, I am undecided about Murph. The closest thing I might agree with one day is the caretaker race or changeling, but who knows? Murph is Janeway and Tom Paris' lizard child regressing. Jeff said, I didn't know you had 2 dogs. Yep, got a Chihuahua and a Pug. Feed me Seymour. I want a dog. I'm so lonely. That's really sad. Fleet Pass with back $5. Money for the Dot 2. Oh my God, Dot, you got food. Baby Baul. SC Scout Guy throws in $2. Treats for Dot. Thank you so much. Feed me Seymour. Murph is the concept for the Starfleet Academy TV show. Oh, that'd be cool if this show like leads into. It could be like Beast Wars and Beast Machines. 3 seasons of Beast Wars and then led into 2 seasons of Beast Machines. Beast Machines are shit, but Beast Wars is really good. So like 3 seasons of Prodigy, and then they get back to the Federation, and then they actually go to Starfleet Academy, and you get the Starfleet Academy series. That'd be neat, where they're in the Starfleet Academy. Hezraz, there is actually a theory about Murph being a sentient Voyager gel pack online. Oh, really? Of course there is. Why wouldn't there be? It's probably a chewed up piece of gum. Jeff Sturm says, it does make more sense. It absolutely does. Jeremy says the episode is banned from Imperial Record. Carlos A. Smith, a thinking gel pack. Oh, please. Folks are reaching. Are they, though? A gel pack got infected. And who knows what could have happened to other ones that were maybe stolen by somebody aboard Voyager when Voyager was under the Kazon. I don't know. A lot of strange shit happens in Star Trek. Cosmic rays. Sentient beings. Like, there's a lot of shit that could turn a gel pack sentient. I mean, omnipotent beings, not sentient beings. Murph is what happened to Q's son. Oh, Cubo. Hezraz, that's why I didn't mention that theory. It's way out there, only mentioning it now due to the conversation direction. Squadricorus, what other goo-type things were in TOS, the animated series, TNG, DS9, Voyager, etc.? Species 8470 has the answer. You know what Murph is now. Murph is Tuvix. And now that Janeway's there, he's going to find a way to get the protostar to Admiral Janeway in the Alpha Quadrant. He's going to murder that bitch. That's what's going to happen. Jeff Stearns, and the holographic doctor could solve problems, and his program would go through the gel packs. So it's, script. Sci-fi stuff happening here. You need a spark of life for that to happen. Easy enough to have happen in Star Trek. Let's be fair. Feed me Seymour. Murph is the ooze that transforms the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oof. General Grievous, if the Moriarty hologram gains sentience, why not a gel pack? And Alyssa Jericho, the thing-like creature from Aquiel. Ooh, there you go, her dog. Yeah. Jeremy Caulfield, Murph is Kess in her enlightened form. There, I now broke the internet. Murph is the essence of Cisco, back from the Celestial Temple. Yeah, he is the prophet. Not the prophet, the emissary, that's the word. People need to get over the Tuvix thing. Either keep Tuvix alive with no background or kill Tuvix and Neelix, who both have backgrounds. No, I totally agree, Hezraz. I totally agree. There's ways to fix that situation, but that's a whole other discussion topic. I have theories, I have ideas, but we're not going to get into it. Murph is Sluggo from Enterprise. Murph's paternal grandfather was Kirk. Sergeant Montgomery, the gel packs, the gel in the Diviner's tube looks suspiciously similar to Murph. Oh, there you go. The gel pack could have gotten that spark of life from a passing ion storm or something else. It's a plausible theory. Yes. Murph for 3. Yes. Wow. People, yeah, I read that one already. Matt Jono, I've just rewatched it for a kid's show. I quite enjoyed it. It's not a kid's show. I fucking hate that. Like I said, that's marketing gone wrong. It's a young adult show at best, and I think it's very good. The mobile emitter was a one-off. Nothing in canon says they managed to replicate it except a Go, which isn't canon. Oh, except for STO. Gotcha. General Grievous, I thought you were drunk. I don't know if Eric is still here, but I know one thing that he absolutely hates is when I do this because he's got a big TV and this terrifies him. Sorry about that, guys. To be fair, which species hasn't corrected the pond fire? Murph is the Kobayashi Maru. No, Murph is Khan. Murph is Khan. When Khan exploded and you saw the Mutar Nebula disappear, it became this little gel thing. It drifted and it's gained sentience. And it's going to be Khan. He's back. That's what it is. There were other episodes in Voyager with holographic life forms. Point being, they eventually had the tech to let Moriarty out of that simulation. They did. But did the simulation survive the crash of the Enterprise in Generations? Did they even keep it on the Enterprise? Did they drop it off at a starbase, which I assume is what they would do? Drop it off at a starbase facility and have them take care of it. Murph is the inside of Foley's mouth. Murph is toothpaste. Looks like the toothpaste I use. It's a family show. Family show is a relative term. Look at Doctor Who. Anyone sees the Halloween apocalypse that would terrify children. Plus, kids are exposed more now. Yeah, exposed to more now, yes. Feed me Seymour. What does God want with a starship? The gel packs? I need the gel packs to make body. Murph is the new tactical officer. Did fire the phasers last time. Well, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up right now. It's been fun. And like I said, this episode was good. It wasn't quite as good as I anticipated, but I really liked Janeway in it. I thought she was great. Dal kind of disappointed me a little bit in this one. Gwen was fantastic. The Protostar was great. The vehicle replicator was good. Rock Talk was good, actually. Kind of sad that she's only eaten the slop that they feed her at the prison thing. Jack and Pog didn't have too much to do, but enough. Zero was awesome as usual. I think Zero is my favorite character out of the show. Murph was just Murph. And yeah, I'm looking forward to more exciting adventures. Murph is Section 31. I wonder if they got kidnapped and the Protostar just drifted till it hit something. What? Anyway, we're going to call it there. Thank you so much for everybody that turned out, everybody that hit that like button, everybody that just watches and listens and hangs out and has fun here, because that's what it's all about. It's always great to talk with you guys and just kind of hear your thoughts and have you put up with hearing mine. I really appreciate it all. So I want to thank you guys. And by the way, on the topic of the vehicle replicator, let's not forget the Enterprise episode Dead Stop, where there was this station that could basically fix, repair, build anything that got destroyed. So the technology from some kind of alien species was there back in Enterprise time. So I don't know why everybody's freaking out about a fucking vehicle replicator. I think it's a fantastic idea. So, thoughts on 2 warp cores? Voyager had 2 warp cores too. Squadron course, $1. There we go. So we got a $1 super chat for the last super chat slot, and that is Squadron course. So thank you so much, guys. I'm gonna call it there so Squadron course can win. It doesn't matter if you guys snipe in at the end after we go off the live, because it's the last one that I say. So anybody that wants to snipe in with the last super chat slot, now is the time, because I'm ending it right now. Anyway, guys, have yourselves a good night. Congratulations, Squadron Course, on your last super chat snipe. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll have our edited review in the afternoon, and then at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 9 p.m. in the UK right now, we will be doing our live full breakdown of this episode. So join us for that, and don't forget to check out the videos we have on the weekend as well. We've got a few things to talk about now, so see you then. And General Grievous snipes in with $1 because I talked too long. Sorry, Squadron Course. General Grievous bribes me quite well, so I know to keep talking until he snipes in. So there you go. Have a good night, everybody, and thank you so much for watching. It's Captain Foley signing off. Bye, guys.